was no shortage of opinion at Lord's this morning on the merits, or otherwise, of Raymond Illingworth's decisions concerning Steve Rhodes and Alex Stewart and the opening batting position for England.
It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. The man's got to do one job and do it well. I think it's ridiculous. His average speaks for itself when he's opening the batting, so why, when he's number 5, so why do they keep on giving him the gloves? I think it's stupid.
It'd be a good move if we actually bat first. Otherwise, it looks like we're going to come unstuck with that one.
Welcome to the highlights of the opening day's play here at Lord's. Just the most wonderful atmosphere whenever there's a test match played here. The first morning is absolutely magnificent, particularly when it's allied to great conditions, hardly a cloud in the sky, temperature promised later on in the day of around about 26, 27 degrees, and a capacity crowd will be in round about 30,000 later on. And here, before a ball was bowled, is what Raymond Illingworth had to say about the selection.
Everybody knows since I started a year and more ago that I want 5 bowlers if possible. I don't believe we can bowl people out twice with 4. If you happen to get one injured, then you're absolutely gone with 3 bowlers left. So we've always wanted 5. The problem is trying to get them in. I agree with Mike at the moment that we want 6 batsmen if at all possible, and the position is that unless Alex keeps, that's the only way we can do it. Now, we weren't quite sure on what Alex's thoughts were until we came down here. Once I've had a good chat with him, Alex got no worries about doing both. Now, if he's happy at doing that, then that makes all the difference, and that's what's happened.
Well, as I've been saying and writing that I would like to see Alex Stewart open the batting and keep wickets, then I've no argument with that. These are the teams announced for the opening day of this test match. England, Michael Atherton, skipper, Alex Stewart at the top of the order, then Hick, Thorpe, Smith, Ramprakash. Cork is in making his test match debut. Gough, Martin, second test match for him, Illingworth and Fraser. And for the West Indies, the change there is Otis Gibson comes in for Kenny Benjamin. I thought Kenny Benjamin bowled very well up at Headingley. That's a bit of a blow for the West Indies that he is injured. But Otis Gibson is a very good bowler, good cricketer, and he'll give a fine account of himself there. Now, the toss was won by England, a very important toss for Michael Atherton to win. And the pitch, well, it looks from a distance to be a beauty. Here's Geoffrey Boycott out in the centre.
Well, Michael Atherton will be pleased to have won the toss. It looks dry, it is dry. There are cracks everywhere. This is the start of the day. They won't affect the batsmen too much early on. You see these cracks right down the middle of the pitch. They'll open more as the game goes on. And I think what will happen, if England bat well early on, later on in the game, we'll find that these cracks will open and we'll start to get 1 or 2 low balls. I think both teams expect it to be a result pitch. But at the moment, it should be good for batting, and England will be very, very happy indeed to take first use of this pitch.
Geoffrey Boycott with his ideas on the way this pitch will play here at Lord's today. We join play with the 4th ball of the second over. Courtney Walsh is the bowler. Michael Atherton is taking strike, and there are 3 runs on the board.
That's very close. Very close. Well worth a shout.
Probably drifting down the leg side, but it's the length that does him. He stays back, Michael Atherton. You see, it hits him on the knee roll.
That's runs. Racing away down towards the 3rd-man boundary. And we've seen the pace of the pitch, now we've seen the pace of the outfield as well.
Good shot. Outfield is nice and fast. And it's 28 for no wicket. Oh, that's a great Yorker. That is one of the best Yorkers you will ever see. Absolutely brilliant.
Well, this is as good as you could get. Ambrose, after beating Atherton all over in the last 2 overs, just pitching just about toe height with a lot of pace and just hitting the bottom of the off stump. And really good bowling by Ambrose, and deserves. He just bowled so well this morning.
$29 for 1 now. Atherton gone. Hick joining Stewart.
That's well played. Lovely little flick off the pads by Alex Stewart, and 4 runs, the ball racing away down to the nursery end. A rare occasion in which Curtly Ambrose has just lost his line. And this is Otis Gibson on his Test match debut. Well, Otis, that's what Test matches are all about.
Welcome to Test cricket, Otis Gibson. Just Alex Stewart with his, I think, his favorite shot outside of the cut shot, just leaning into this one, just pitched on or about leg stump, and Stewart just leaning and making sure his dispatch quickly through mid-wicket for 4.
What's happened? 4 runs has been signalled. Did he play, take the bat away? Did it flick the bat? And my word, that must have been close to the stumps.
Well, this one just started going away from the right-hander, and I think Stewart initially thought of not playing, and then it hit the inside edge and just missed the off stump.
Well, that was the end of the bat, all right. And beautiful line, and that was the suggestion I made, that with the slope here at Lord's going right to left, there may be just a little bit of movement off the pitch towards the edge of Graham Hick's bat, and so it was.
Oh, well bowled. Well, would you believe it? The slits had been rearranged, spread wider. Otis Gibson has done absolutely the right thing, kept it up there, got the ball swinging away from Alex Stewart. And the fortunes are on the Englishman's side. Straightforward catch. Nicely taken by Brian Lara. And so on the stroke of lunch, Graham Hick's luck runs out.
Well, it happened in such slow motion and such simplicity that it caught everybody by surprise, even the crowd.
Oh dear. No Otis regrets there. Keith Atherton has pulled that out of the air, and Stewart has gone in just the second full over after lunch. A great blow for England and a tremendous effort from the West Indies after England won the toss here. New batsman coming out of the pavilion for England is Robin Smith. Where he likes them, is very, very strong there. Otis Gibson won't know all that much about Robin Smith. This is Gibson's Test match debut, but one thing we can assure him about is that he is strong on leg stump.
Gets through the cordon of slips. They'll take one, turn for 2, and Smith comes back for the second.
Agonizingly close here for Ian Bishop. That one just dropping in front of Richard Richardson would have been a very difficult catch, going down all the time. Catchable eventually, but very difficult.
But there's no respite for the England batsman, because Curtly Ambrose now comes back from the pavilion end to replace Otis Gibson. Well played. The 100 comes up, 103 for 3.
short. Again, you see the frustration. All beautifully is Curtly Ambrose. Bishop's ball well at the other end. Just not quite going to hand, everything. Thick edge, but short.
Four runs. It's typical of the left-hander, able to guide the ball away comfortably, in full control. What it really does need is someone to take the attack to the West Indies bowlers, just without taking undue risks. Oh, great shot. With the benefit of the slope, that's just going to run away. That's a good shot too, nicely played, very firmly played. And the right-hander now proving that if the bowler is going to stray towards leg stump, he too is capable of putting it away for four. Cracking shot. That really is the Robin Smith that we all remember. That's often been his favourite shot. For a long, long time it's been his most productive shot.
Well, it's his confidence growing here. I think that just about signals that he feels pretty good.
Four more. Equally emphatic. Curtly Ambrose is going to have to bowl better than that. And time for spin. For the first time in the day, Carl Hooper about to bowl from the nursery end. Good shot from Robin Smith. Just allowed the ball to come to him. He used all the pace that was there and timed it very nicely. Oh, dropped him. Very, very sharp chance. Brian Lara had to anticipate as much as react. And with a firm shot like that, that ball really did go very quickly. He's standing very close to slip.
Absolute crack. He's a good puller of the short ball. Maybe in some ways assisted by the angle, although it doesn't always work out quite like that. There it is. Beautiful timing by Robin Smith in every way. He's picked up 3 runs, goes on now to 51. A fine half century. Started off very, very shakily indeed. And now has gone to 51 and already is getting a standing ovation on this ground. That's raced away over the outfield. Glorious stroke from Graham Thorpe. This partnership is flourishing.
Well, a nice juicy full toss. Didn't try to hit it too hard, Graham Thorpe. Just punched it firmly into space between the bowler and mid-off.
And 50 for Graham Thorpe. That's been a very valuable innings for England. Another fine knock for Graham Thorpe. And both captain and chairman of selectors allowed to applaud the efforts of their man in the middle. 50 not out in 91 balls, and including 7 fours. Ball in. Robin Smith is gone. Carl Hooper has bowled the Hampshire batsman. And as Robin Smith looked well set, just advancing down the pitch, seemed to have things under control, and the ball was transformed into a Yorker.
Yes, I get the impression that he was going to move down the pitch, whatever. He premeditated to use his feet and get down the pitch to the spinner, but he's off there very quickly. And he just yorks himself, really, in the end.
Mark Ramprakash is the new batsman, number 6 on the card for England. That's gone. Well, that's well bowled by Carl Hooper. But Ramprakash, who looked to have been striking the ball cleanly but straight at the fielders in an attempt to get off the mark, hasn't succeeded.
Well, I thought that was beautifully bowled by Carl Hooper. He flighted it up there, tempted him outside off stump, really tempting delivery, threw it up, and a nice simple catch.
Graham Thorpe is still there on 52. He's played very well, but he must now shoulder the responsibility for the rest of this England innings. Dominic Cork has just arrived out in the middle for his first Test match innings. Well, a good start, healthy start for Dominic Cork. It wasn't the most testing of deliveries, but he did absolutely everything right with it. The next one. Well, it's been a purple patch for the West Indies. And Curtly Ambrose, who has bowled very tightly since tea, has given nothing away, has now claimed another wicket. That of Graham Thorpe, that was the important one left.
Ambrose has worked jolly hard today. He started to put a little bit of pressure on the batsman since tea. Just didn't quite get far enough forward, Graham Thorpe.
And England under a lot of pressure now. 191 for 6. Cork not out 4. And Darren Gough.
That's a good shot. One thing I must say about Darren Gough is that he certainly picks up the length very quickly, as quick as any batsman.
Simple and out. Darren Gough couldn't get on top of it. It was a fiery delivery, to say the least. It was banged in short and just at that awkward height too. Darren Gough couldn't get on top of it. Tried to half sway away, just the bat handle. The bat itself was the eventual culprit. Sliced away. And the simplest of catches. And Peter Martin on his way out. That's a good shot. That's a good shot from Dominic Cork. First boundary for some time.
221 for 7. Yeah, and he's really collected that. Good shot. That's a very good stroke again. He's played 3 good ones like that, 2 pull shots and 1 hook. That's good, courageous cricket. 21 to Martin, 18 to Cork, 242 for 7. Thick outside edge. And those things where they all count. Curtis Gibson can't quite see the difficulties the fielder had down on the boundary. Good Yorker. We've seen 2 beauties today. Cork is gone. That will be the end of the day's play now. We're into within 2 minutes of the scheduled end. And Dominic Cork has gone to an excellent change of pace Yorker. That's beautiful bowling. And the very disappointing thing for England there will be that everyone got a start except Mark Ramprakash, who was out for naught. 21, 34, 13, 52, 61, 30, 11 and unbeaten on 22. So it could have been so much better. But the reason it wasn't is in the list of bowlers. They did a terrific job today. Ambrose 2 for 59, Walsh 1 for 38. Gibson fell away a bit, perhaps a touch of nerves, later on a bit of exhaustion. 20 overs, 2 maidens, 2 for 81. Bishop 1 for 33, and Hooper, I thought, bowled extremely well. 14 overs, 3 maidens, and 2 for 36. So quite a tough day so far as England were concerned. They fought back, and then West Indies got back at them again, and for his ideas on everything that's happened today, here's Geoffrey Boycott.
Well, a fluctuating day's cricket with England not taking full advantage of first use of a cracked pitch. The day really was in 2 parts. Robin Smith and Graham Thorpe put on over 100 for England, and then the Dominic Cork and Peter Martin stand at the end, which lifted the crowd. That kept England afloat. But all in all, I think as both teams go to bed tonight, the West Indies will feel happiest. They will probably rue the fact that they dropped Smith and they dropped Thorpe, and that cost them 67 runs. And I hope that doesn't come back to haunt them.
Well, not a great day for England, even though at different times they played extremely well. But the West Indies just a little bit too good as the day went overall. We look forward to having you back with us tomorrow now. We're on BBC One at 10:55 a.m. It's the second day of the Cornhill Insurance Test match. Today, some wonderful cricket. But for the moment, there's a big job ahead of England's bowlers at Lord's today, the second day of the Cornhill Test match. But first, Michael Atherton would be looking for the total to be pushed on to around the 300 mark. West Indies, for their part, were very, very happy with yesterday's performance in the beautiful surroundings at Lord's. Manager Andy Roberts has been talking about a first innings total of around 500. That's a lot of runs, and welcome to the highlights of the second day's play in this Test match. I thought yesterday was brilliant. Great cricket from both sides. West Indies did come out on top, as is shown by the scorecard. England 255 for the loss of 8 wickets. Everyone except Mark Ramprakash got a bit of a start, and they couldn't quite go on with it. Dominic Cork out there for 30, and Darren Gough for 11. Martin 22 not out. All that is accurately reflected in the bowling figures there. Ambrose 2 for 59, Walsh 1 for 38, Gibson on debut 2 for 81, Bishop 1 for 33, and the man who broke the back of the England batting, Carl Hooper, 2 for 36 from 14 overs and 3 maidens. Well, the way the pitch played yesterday, I reckon there'll still be something there for the bowlers today, and here's Geoffrey Boycott.
Well, this pitch hasn't changed much. We look at all the cracks, a little more pronounced and evident. If we come in closer, you can see here where the new ball has hit some of the cracks. This is the red marks here. And you can see on this crack where the balls, probably 2 or 3 have hit on the cracks because the edges of the cracks are actually disintegrating. The pitch is quite firm at the moment. The cracks are standing up reasonably well. But as more and more balls hit these cracks, one here, very pronounced opening of the cracks, very big red mark where the balls hit, and all the edges get frayed. We come further down, the same again. Another one here. These are probably more difficult for the left-hander, actually, when Lara or Adams are batting today. But you can see slowly and surely as the ball hits more and more of these cracks, they are just going to disintegrate. And as the match goes on, we will get the odd lower ball. But all in all, you'd still like to bat on this pitch. The sun's out, and it's pretty good for batting if you bat sensibly.
And it does seem from what Jeffrey says that there'll be something there for the bowlers today. And we join play in the second over. Walsh is the bowler, Illingworth is taking strike, and 2 runs have been added to the overnight score.
Well, let's slip through off the bat. Runs given. Now, let's take a look at Junior Murray, who's taking a look at his cricket shoes.
This is a tremendously bad miss by Junior Murray. It was straight in, regulation height, good pace by Walsh. Generally a good edge, straight in. Should have been easily caught, and it became 4 runs.
Oh, good shot. Now, that was a Yorker in length, but not quite in direction. And the open face of the bat just glanced it like lightning through the slips. Nicely improvised stroke. You can't expect it to be perfectly played. There's someone batting down the order, but a couple of runs come from that. And at least Richard Illingworth shows that he's not afraid of the short ball. Oh, certainly beat Junior Murray. His hands are letting him down a bit this morning. That ball really was on the incline. It was climbing steeply past Murray. The question is, did it touch the bat at all?
This was an excellent ball here, and Junior Murray just perhaps unsighted because he couldn't jump there, and that certainly took an edge.
It's a very good slower ball, which once or twice has deceived the batsman to think it's coming at head height. Beautifully bowled. Well bowled, an extravagant stroke there from Peter Martin. Good delivery, well rewarded for Courtney Walsh. Done a good job bowled well yesterday, and he's jagged that back at Peter Martin. Would have gone over the top of the stumps, an indication that there is still some of that bounce from the pitch that was there yesterday. Disappointment for Peter Martin. But he did a good job. Partnership between Martin and Illingworth was 26, and yesterday between Dominic Cork and Martin was 50.
Number 11 to number 11, so they're in the same club.
That's out. A good slow ball, not quite a Yorker, but Fraser was certainly defeated by the change of pace, and that's the end of the England innings. 283, having gone on from 255 for 8 at the start of play on this second day.
Yeah, pretty good bowling here by Courtney Walsh. He started this morning very well and finished it quite impressively. Perfect slow ball, the batsman who was moving backwards and plumb in front. Tremendous effort by the West Indian fast bowlers.
Well, it could have been so much better for England than 283, but they'll be reasonably happy with that. A brave effort from Martin for his 29, and I thought a very sensible one also from Richard Illingworth, unbeaten on 16. The bowling figures, just the 2 men used this morning. Ambrose 2 for 72, his final figures. Walsh, well, I won't say that he gets better as he gets older, but he certainly doesn't get any worse. 22.4 over 6 maidens and 3 for 50. We join play now in the first over. It's the 4th ball. Darren Gough is the bowler. Sherwin Campbell is taking strike, and 2 runs have been added. Very good. 4 runs, good shot, too short from the bowler. He's gone. First wicket for Darren Gough with his new run-up. Devised a week or so ago, and suddenly he's picked up a wicket in the first over he's bowled in this Test match. Well, that's a confidence booster for him and for Atherton, and certainly for England.
I think he enjoys this, Darren Gough. He didn't really do anything, did he, you see? It's the line, just that line yesterday was saying you can afford to bowl 10 inches outside off stump with the slope at Lord's. Batsmen have to play it.
It's become a habit for Brian Lara to be rushing and grabbing his pads and running through the little checklist of boots, socks, trousers, shirt, etc. while he's changing, make sure he's fully clad. Hooper was out first ball up at Headingley, and now in the first over, Campbell has gone here. Now he's bowling first ball to Lara.
Nice juicy loosener on his pads, flipped it away. Oh, they should run 4 here. No. Good effort, but I think it took a bit out of him, that.
That's 4. Well, one thing's for sure, with Darren Gough with the ball, Brian Lara with the bat, there's a contest on. There's pride at stake, 2 young men battling for supremacy. Whoa. Well, that was loose as far as Brian Lara was concerned.
Yes, I think give a lot of credit to Darren Gough there, the bowl as well. He outthought Brian Lara.
Great moment for Jason Pooley, who comes on as a sub-fielder. Don't like the reason he's coming on, because Darren Gough has gone off. Almost cut him in half. And that slight strain sustained by Darren Gough. The ball we were talking about, it's the second ball he bowled. He's bowling to Hooper. And he's slipped away there in his follow-through. And certainly it looks as though he's done something there. The batsman picked up the single, which is good running between the wickets. But Gough has caught his foot in the bowling crease. Oh, that's out. That was absolutely plumb, and rarely will you see such good bowling rewarded in that fashion. That is a brilliant piece of bowling by Gus Fraser from the nursery end, and what a man to get for your 100th wicket in Test match cricket. Lara was endeavouring to force it away slightly on the onside, perhaps through mid-on. Yep. And really, I suppose you could say he only was pointing about half a bat to it. Yep. Good wicket. Brian Lara, your 100th in Test match cricket. Now Darren Gough is coming back on the field just inside the 15 minutes, which is a requirement in the playing conditions. Averaging 173, 61, 38, 82 and 90. Really good, and he is a good player. He's not your normal run of fashionable type players. He's not one of the royal ascots of the cricket world. But he's a very gritty customer and a good stroke player as well. And that ball, which wasn't fully off the meat of the bat, still went all along the ground. He has very good control of his strokes. very close. Perilously close. Just have got himself outside off stump.
And perhaps done a little bit by the bounce, because it seems as if it hit just above the protective roll.
And as pointed out by Colin Croft, it was the bounce that did Fraser. Would have gone just over the top of the bails, and a very good decision from umpire Venkat.
Well, that didn't quite go where Carl Hooper intended it. The ball was pitched up, but it slid off the face.
Rather close to perfect day here at Lord's. Capacity crowd again, although some of the seats aren't taken immediately after lunch. People still having a beaker or two of, might even be Australian Chardonnay, you never know.
England physio Dave Roberts was just checking on Darren Goff's progress a few moments ago on the edge of the field to see how he's reacted to treatment, how he's reacted to this second spell. All balls. Just to be perhaps a little bit inside edge.
Well, Darren Goff certainly defeated Carl Hooper. Swung in. Must have been a little bit of underside edge on that. It was beautifully bowled. I mean, right up. It set off outside. That's what you want. And then to swing in.
Well, it's been a rare boundary. That's a nicely timed little shot from Carl Hooper. Dominic Cork putting everything into it, but no chance of catching it. Really good example there from Carl Hooper of how just to use the laws of physics. It's all timing. No real effort.
Perfect delivery for a left-hander. Just moving away from Jimmy Adams. He was forced to play. Just pitched outside the off stump, and as good as it could come. And again, Peter Martin giving Carl Hooper something of a rough time. Just ball pitched just on or about middle and leg, and bouncing a little bit more than Hooper would expect. May have hit just the glove and then deflected into the solar plexus area, but Carl Hooper certainly not comfortable to Peter Martin.
Oh, it's a big shout. The ball really does have to come back a long, long way from that angle to be hitting the stumps.
Well, certainly worth a shout. It must have been pitched just outside off stump, and if anything, beating the top of the off stump, but certainly worth a shout.
Couple of runs in this, just beat Robin Smith's grasp at short square leg.
Well, technically this might have been called a chance, but very, very difficult. As it passed between Robin Smith's legs, it was going down and going very quickly. Arms go
cricket glove. That's not why umpire Venkataraghavan is going down the pitch. He's, I think, telling Cork that he can't run down the middle of the pitch. This warns him off, but that was quick.
Well, all sorts of things happened in this one delivery. Perfect length and just rearing its head, and Jimmy Adams just had to get out of the way. And in the meantime, Peter Martin, by umpire Venkat, perhaps running just in front of the leg stump for the right-hander.
Bowling, great success for young Peter Martin, who was warned 1 over officially for running down the track, and still has the composure and still has the aggression to bowl Carl Hooper for 40. It's 88 for 3.
A little inside edge, really. Played forward, but played it on. Trying to defend his stump, but he just pushed out a little bit too far past his pad.
Well, that's a wicket which England have fought hard for. Third wicket goes down for 88. It's come as a result of some very aggressive bowling, wholehearted bowling. Richie Richardson, the West Indian captain.
Nicely placed. Chase for Richard Illingworth, which he's not going to win. Every time that ball rolls down the slope at Law is just so tantalising. That's a fine shot. Too close to leg stump as far as Dominic Cork was concerned. Very firmly hit.
Yes, good shot, a good full flow of a straight bat. I think that's important for Richie Richardson as well. Use a straightish bat.
That's enough to beat mid-off. Angus Fraser is after it. Wasn't quite timed properly.
Brilliant.
Good running.
Brilliant, wasn't it, David?
Very good running.
That really was a 3 1/4 run, or 3 1/2.
That's a lovely shot. Nothing more than a solid push from Richard Richardson. And it seems that the 100 he scored at Durham at the weekend has just honed things nicely for him. His timing is back, his footwork is back.
Yes, the difference with this shot and how he's been playing most of the tour is the footwork. Watch the foot movement. It's the left foot out there. Look at that big stride. That's a very big stride. The bend of the knee, the body coming forward. That is a big stride.
That's a great shot. Absolutely perfect placement. Real free flow of the bat.
Short of the fielder. Dominic Cork, the fielder. Adams has been struck once or twice, either on or just around about the fingers.
If anything, I think Jimmy Adams just loosening the bat here, allowing the ball, perhaps trying to kill it.
Just out of the reach of Dominic Cork's gully, I think. Need the replay to see if it did just brush his fingers. It was a sharp chance. I had the feeling that the fielder might not have been moving quickly enough. Well, it certainly went past at catchable height. What a wonderful shot. The shot of a man back in form and bang in form at that.
So very typical of Richie Richardson. Leaning into the ball, opening the face of the bat, and so often his cover drive goes slightly squarer than it at first would appear, but beautifully timed. Oh, dropped it! Well, well. We were just talking about the way Richie Richardson was leaning into the drives. Well, this one was one which had him leaning back. Off it went in the air, square on the offside, and down she went. It's the 50 partnership, and they'll look for the third, and they say no. To settle for two, well run by Dominic Cork, back from the gully to third man. Full toss and smashes that ball straight through extra cover's hands, all along the ground. Really a thundering shot for 4 runs. And there you have it. A half-century for Jimmy Adams, and his teammates come to the balcony to applaud. It's been a half-century of extreme graft and tenacity. He hasn't worried about the bad shots. That finds space as well. It's a sprint for Dominic Cork, but it races away. It's the second sunny day, everything's dry, the pitch is dry, the outfield is dry and fast, and there's no third man. 150 comes up for the loss of 3 wickets. Whoa, a drop, I think at second slip.
Not easy that though, one-handed he went.
Graham Hick is the fielder, and there you see from the other angle. It'll look also possible in slow motion replay, but that went like lightning.
That's a good stop. Still got to find the ball again second time round. Angus Fraser did well to get down to that in the first place. It actually travelled pretty quickly across that outfield. That's dropped him. England really struggling to hold on to these chances. They're coming quickly. But I'm afraid that is the nature of that sort of chance. If you're going to stand in the slips when they come, you really must take them. Graham Thorpe this time the culprit. And England's fielders have lapsed, well, for 3 occasions now. 3 occasions in this session since tea. Chances have gone down. Dominic Cork was the other one who dropped Richie Richardson when he was 30. Oh, that's plenty. One bounce, very close to the rope, signalled 4. That's the shot we've seen Richie Richardson play many a time over the years. Not so often in this country on this tour yet. Well, he's gone through to Alex Stewart. He's given him out. Richie Richardson falls one short of the 50 mark. He took the bottom hand off the bat to another ball that really leapt from a length at him. He's done that many a time already in this innings without that result.
I think it was a wicket got by perseverance from Angus Fraser. Just kept on going and waited for something to happen, and eventually it's gone England's way.
It's a useful delivery from Angus Fraser. So that is his trademark: perseverance, accuracy, persistence. Alex Stewart succeeding where the close fielders had failed in this session until then. And the new man, Keith Arthurton, another left-hander to join Jimmy Adams. 166 for 4. Angus Fraser's second wicket of the innings. That's close and that's out. That's close enough for umpire Venkatragulan. And Angus Fraser once again earns his due reward for perseverance. Jimmy Adams finally goes for 54. It's been a painstaking innings. Not the most fluent innings that Jimmy Adams will ever play.
Well, it's very similar to the delivery that got Brian Lara out. Pitching on, coming back into the left-hander, slightly down the slope, hitting him on the knee roll. The umpire could have a good look at it.
One thing you've got to check is whether or not that ball pitches on the line of the stumps. And that's marginal at best.
These left-handers don't like to be out LBW, do they, David?
As I remember it, you hated it. But that's always the aspect the umpire has to look at from the right arm over the wicket, as Junior Murray makes his way out to the centre. 169 for 5 then. Going to get 4 runs for it, Junior Murray. Managed to get it through the gap. Oh, good shot. We saw Junior Murray in the one-day matches that preceded this Test series playing this shot. Swivels very much like Richie Richardson when he sees it short.
Yes, most of his runs come on the onside, whether it's from pull shots like that, ball short of a length, or he's working it from a length through the onside off the front foot.
Well bowled. Don't know if umpire Shepherd is going to say it's well bowled, or if he's going to raise his right digit. I think the answer to that is no, he's not. Well, it has gone away a long, long way. The umpire will never give a decision unless he sees the ball hit the bat. He won't just give it on a noise. There are all sorts of noises out there, and in any case, these days, with all the shouting and all sorts of things, you don't hear everything that happens, but he would only give it if he saw the ball deflect off the edge. That's a nice stroke. Arthurton has picked the slower ball. He's quite unflurried. He's played a lovely stroke straight down the ground, just away on the offside, and beating Dominic Cork. There's a man out there, but he's beaten. Junior Murray is strong on that shot.
The two men were set for this shot, but it didn't bounce as much as Peter Martin would have expected, and Junior Murray had the opportunity to turn his hand over it and get it just in line with his square leg umpire.
Got him. Well done. Very well bowled. A good spell of bowling from Martin. Junior Murray has gone. Didn't seem quite certain of why he should go, but this may tell us more. It seemed quite straightforward. I thought for a moment he might have hit it twice, but it wasn't. It somehow got right up the top of the hand, right up onto the bit of cane that sticks into the blade. Now, 197 for 6. New batsman coming out. His Test match debut, Otis Gibson. And good chance to be a hero. And a nice start. Off the mark with a good shot.
Gibson, not a bad batsman. He's got a first-class average of about 20.
Well, the first one he got was a good bouncer from Martin. Now he's smashed the next two away to the boundary. And now Atherton is just on his way down to have a word with him.
Keith Atherton probably suggesting that you wait until tomorrow and come back. Whatever Keith Atherton told Otis Gibson, I'm sure it went through one ear and came out the other one, because he certainly played a shot there as if he intends to play his cricket the way he knows it.
Whip away through mid-wicket.
Perhaps getting the benefit of it, that was perhaps just outside the leg stump.
Just one more ball bowled, but the score at the end of the day, 209 for 6 with the unbeaten batsman Otis Gibson on debut, and flailing away just a little bit, touch of nerves there, but he's still there on 12, and he can bat. So too can Keith Atherton. 14 not out. 54 for Jimmy Adams and 49 for Richie Richardson. And the bowling for England, I thought they did a terrific job out there today. That was very disciplined bowling. Gough 18 overs, 2 maidens, 1 for 39. Could have had better figures. Fraser 3 for 37. Cork none for 43. Martin 2 for 59. And Illingworth 7 overs of spin, 2 maidens and no wicket for 18. That's the state of the game after 2 wonderful days of cricket here at Lord's. 283, 209 for 6. And the West Indies 74 runs behind. An absolutely brilliant performance from both teams. And here's Geoffrey Boycott with his ideas on the game.
Well, if you like tough competitive cricket, then this was it today. The England bowlers really got on top of the West Indies batsmen. They'd learnt from their mistakes at Headingley, where they bowl wide and short. But all the 4 seamers, bowling in rotation, bowled very straight, fairly full, didn't give the West Indies batsmen any width at all, and pressurised them until the wickets went down. I think all in all, they had their best day's bowling that I've seen for a long time. Now this pitch is not getting any better. The cracks are opening, they're getting drier and drier, and today we saw more and more balls that kept a little low or hit batsmen on the fingers. So tonight, England will go to bed fancying their chances. If they can bowl well tomorrow, get a touch of a little lead on the West Indies,
and they know that the West Indies have to bat last, and they will fancy their chances more and more.
Well, Jeffries enjoyed it as much as I did today and yesterday as well. 2 terrific days of cricket here at Lord's. Another one coming up tomorrow. This is when we'll be with you, BBC One at 10:45 a.m. For the moment, from Lord's, it's goodbye. They say a week is a long time in politics. It seems a day is a very long time in cricket. West Indies at the close of play on Thursday reckon England would be very disappointed with 255 for 8 on that splendid pitch. They, on the other hand, might be looking for around about 500. At the close of play on Friday, it was a very different tune. The pitch was a disaster, and the West Indies suggested it wasn't up to Test match standard. There's certainly been some uneven bounce, and England's bowlers, with a good line and length and great spirit, posed problems for Sherwin Campbell, Richie Richardson, and for Junior Murray. One thing we do know is that so far, the pitch and the players have produced 2 great days of cricket at Lord's. Welcome to the highlights of the 3rd day's play here at the home of cricket. The pitch is the talking point, and here is Geoffrey Boycott with his report.
Well, 3rd day of this pitch, and the West Indies don't seem too happy with this Lord's pitch. But let's have a look at it. It hasn't altered a great deal, that just these cracks become a little bit more pronounced. But what happened yesterday was, if I show you here, right here you can see how right at the edges of the cracks, the balls kept hitting all these red marks here in one place, and they keep hitting the same cracks, and the cracks start to disintegrate at the edges. And what happens then? The ball either keeps low or it bounces and wraps the batsman on the fingers. Can't do anything about that. That's because of the nature of the cracks getting hit at the edges. It happens more and more, and what it means is batsmen have to really dig deep, for a lot of courage, really have to try hard to grasp patience, concentration, and they can't afford to play any sloppy shots, because you can see the cracks going here. And this will get worse. More and more here, cracks here. Look at the edges. They're disintegrating. But what it means is we get a result pitch. The bowlers bowl straight and tight. Batsmen have to work jolly hard. It's good, hard, tough cricket. And at the moment, England are doing better than West Indies, so I'm not surprised Andy Roberts isn't pleased with the pitch. But I don't see that this is a bad pitch. I just see it's a good cricket result pitch.
Well, sounds like a lot more excitement today. That's the way the West Indies start the day, the 3rd day here in this Cornhill Test. 209 for 6, and the not-out batsman Keith Arthurton on 14, and Otis Gibson playing in his first Test match, unbeaten on 12. The bowling figures for England as they start: Gough a wicket, 3 for Fraser, who bowled very well yesterday. So too Martin, 2 for 59 for him from 18 overs and 4 maidens. And the state of the game: England 283, West Indies 209 for 6, West Indies 74 behind, and we join it now with the 3rd ball of the 2nd over. Fraser is the bowler, Gibson has taken strike, and 2 runs have been added to the overnight total.
That's very close.
Well, straight away he's on a line and a length, is Angus Fraser. That's important. What he did yesterday was put the batsman under a lot of pressure. You're not going to get all your appeals given. Might have been a touch high. It's going up towards the top of the pad.
Well, that's through, sized away. No one could stop that one.
Yeah, it's just a touch of width, not very much. Hit that very much off the meat of the bat.
Oh, bold. And that's just the loosener. Otis Gibson still looking for clues.
Well, you can't understand why he missed it, really. He didn't do anything, did he? Just a straightforward delivery. He played it badly.
That's a good shot. Very firmly struck. Whatever he got wrong with the previous delivery, he's got it absolutely right with this one. A little bit straighter. Nice firm swing of the bat, flick of the wrists, and 4 runs. Certainly not one to be deterred, Otis Gibson, by playing and missing at one. Purely instinctive batsman. Well, Keith Arthurton just resting on his feet there as he eased it through the covers. He had the feeling that once he'd hit it, it was four.
Yes, that's not only a good shot, but it's really good concentration because he had nothing to hit all morning.
Went for it and didn't connect. There are men waiting just for that shot.
Good bowling that by Angus Fraser. He's waited, put the man back. The batsman knew he was back, but he waited. He didn't rush bowling in the short ball.
It's probably the shot of the morning so far. Half an hour in. Beautifully straight. I mean, virtually any top-class batsman would have been happy with this.
Yes, he gets slightly outside the line of the ball, as a lot of West Indians have done over the years, outside the line and plays it to the onside. You see this ball's outside off stump. It's outside, plays it from outside to in.
Smashed away. Well, that was over-pitched from Darren Gough, but Keith Arthurton wasn't going to waste that opportunity.
Well, he is basically a front foot player. He likes to get on the front foot nearly all the time. Most of his runs come from offside drives, a little bit of working on the onside. He's not basically a hooker or a puller from the back foot. That's a cracking drive.
Played some wonderful shots so far this morning. That's another one of them. No great power in the stroke, but excellent timing.
Almost a short arm jab this. Didn't pick up the bat too high, but picked the length well. Short, crisp shot. The bat doesn't go up too high, just a little short. Nicely played.
LBW to Gough. The partnership is broken. Vital for England's chances. That was a very good knock from Otis Gibson playing in his first test. Came in late in the day yesterday, and now he's gone.
Well, very unlucky, I think, Otis Gibson, because there's no way that he would have expected that ball to bounce that little. It did not get up. He played on the back foot. The ball was short of a good length, and it just did not get up. So the pitch has taken at least one wicket, and could, in the end, put some doubts even into the fielding team's mind.
The batsman is Ian Bishop, coming out now at 2:46 for 7. And that's 4. 250 up for West Indies. And this is going to be a tight game, every boundary most valuable, and today there have been quite a few from Arthurton's bat. Another boundary for Arthurton. And a very good shot. Quite prepared to take on Darren Gough.
Keith Arthurton doesn't make the pitch look as if it's a big devil here, because he just got across that one and hit it perhaps a little bit away from his body and a little bit in the air, but found the space perfectly.
Wonderful shot. Quite brilliant. Nothing wrong with the ball, except perhaps it gave him a little bit of room for manoeuvre there. That's a beautiful stroke. First one was great. It's no better than that. And Keith Atherton, I wouldn't think has ever played a more valuable innings than that for West Indies. It's only a half century, but in the context of this game, just about priceless.
Good try. And the umpire is calling to the third umpire. Umpire David Shepherd is signalling leg by. But it's very casually run because it didn't look on at the start.
Well, initially, I think Ian Bishop started and then decided that Keith Atherton wasn't responding, so he stopped and then, I guess, went through, but clearly that should be fully in.
Ian Bishop untroubled by that bouncer, certainly climbed very high. Bowling. Oh, fascinating sequence, a near run out. A very high bouncer, and the next ball well up and over they go. And that's Dominic Cork's first test wicket.
Well, Ian Bishop receiving a typical 1-2 of the fast bowler. First the bouncer and then perfectly pitched off cutter that came somewhere between bat and pad and uprooted his middle stump. This is the way you need to bowl if you are going to be defending such a small total. Cork bowling the exact position, probably just hitting the inside edge and hitting the top of the middle stump.
Curtly Ambrose is the new batsman. Well, we've seen him swing the willow with some effect in the past. Oh, big shot then. That might have been Pat first.
Yes, Keith Atherton, he got himself in a little bit of a tangle here. He wasn't quite sure what he was going to do. He's going to play it, and then he left it. And really, I think it was pad first, pad bat, and he got away with it. You see that? Yep, pad bat.
That's well bowled. No wonder Kirtley's looking somewhat grimly down the pitch back at Dominic Cork. I think that one will be filed away for future use.
I mean, this was a real brute of a delivery. Whew, played it well in the end. Really did get up. Where the keeper has to jump.
Not a long way away.
Well, Kirtley's normal shot is trying to hit it sort of mid-off to mid-on area, or even mid-wicket. He doesn't really score his runs in any other area. He's trying to go over mid-on.
Well, he's made contact this time. And that's hit handsomely straight down the ground. Having missed 3 or 4 attempts comfortably, somehow this one's found the middle of the bat.
I think he decided to aim it over mid-off this time, which is better. He always tends to try and hoik it a bit to the onside, but this time he went right through towards the mid-off area, giving it a full straight back treatment.
And that's a great shot. Still not quite the pitch of the ball, but if you watch the ball closely enough, you can still find the middle of the bat.
Well, it's Keith Atherton's speciality. Cover drives, front foot. Not the normal front foot, goes back first, and then the front foot comes forward quite a way away from the ball, but he's in good form, he's got 50, confidence is high, and he also knows that he's got to try and look for a run or two with Ambrose there.
$300 up. So England 283 and now 301 for 8 for West Indies. Wonderful save.
Well, Alex Stewart's certainly doing well in this game. He's had a lot of problems, especially the ball bouncing and going down the leg side. Moving acrobatically here, and if any team actually needed a goalkeeper, I'm sure he could be auditioned.
Gone. Ambrose is annoyed. He managed to miss the stumps, but he found the fielder. Caught it cover. Angus Fraser another wicket. And the 9th wicket goes down. Curtly Ambrose out for 12. Atherton is 67. That's what England needed. What West Indies wanted.
Not a good effort by Curtly Ambrose in this particular instance.
Curtly has caught the attention of match referees before for that particular stroke. But he was sensible enough this time to miss it by a good foot. 3:05 for 9 now. Courtney Walsh, the man coming out. Quite a character, Courtney Walsh with the bat. Great shot for 4.
Well, this must be catching, because certainly Keith Atherton would not have expected that, and perhaps even Courtney Walsh. That was as good a straight hit as you could come to for number 11 batsman. Maybe a little bit in the air, but 4 more runs.
Well, he might well get 4 for it. Not quite what Darren Gough was hoping for. And Courtney Walsh fending, but fending safely. It's amazing, isn't it? Some men, some batsmen you remember for the flow of their cover drive, others for the power of their hook shot. Courtney Walsh is going to be remembered forever for the extravagance of the way he leaves the ball alone. Hit it well. Hit it very well and brilliantly caught. What a catch that was. Darren Gough down at long leg. He's hurt himself in the process. Well, that really was a brilliant catch by the Yorkshireman. It looks as though he might have banged his head as he fell to the ground. He's still dazed, but when he sees the replay, when he comes to, that was a catch he can be mightily proud of. Well, he really had to take off there, Darren Gough. And the way that head bangs into the turf, no wonder he looked dazed. It was a good bouncer too from Angus Fraser, because he got it high, he got it just outside off stump, which made it just that much harder for Keith Arthurton to control the shot. And of all the outfield catches that we've seen over the years, that ranks very, very high indeed at the top of the list.
That was a very good morning for the West Indies. 324 ended by that magnificent catch away out on the boundary, certainly into the top 10. 324 all out, and good performances there from the tail enders to take it along to that figure and give the West Indies a healthy lead. The bowling figures for England: Gough 2 for 84, Fraser 33 overs, 13 maidens, 5 for 66. Gosh, he's a good performer, all heart. And Cork a wicket on his Test match debut. Martin 2 for 65. But a terrific performance there from Angus Fraser. And the way the game looked, there we are, England 283, West Indies 324, and the lead was 41 for the West Indies. A very good performance from them, and we join England's innings now with Michael Atherton taking strike at the first ball and Curtly Ambrose as the bowler.
What an extraordinary first delivery. I don't suppose Mike Atherton has seen too many of these for the first ball of an innings before. Slipping out of the top of the hand. And the first runs from the back. Nicely played by Mike Atherton, running away down the slope. So Curtly Ambrose finds the pitch. Mike Atherton finds the middle of the bat.
God. It's quite obvious that the England batsmen, they want to knock off the 41 deficit before they lose a wicket. That's their intent.
7 centuries. Big appeal, but I think the major appeal came from short square leg.
Well, there was no need to appeal there. Courtney was trying to bowl that foolish Yorker over the top of the side screen. Michael Atherton not picking it up, just hit the bowler's footmarks and bounced up awkwardly.
Lovely stroke by Alex Stewart. He stood so still when the ball was in the air coming down to him. He was able to play it with perfect balance and lovely timing. And a cheer goes around the ground as Mr. Major's picture appears on the big screen. Big shout. He's out. Atherton's gone. A venomous ball. Dug in short and just flicked the glove through on the leg side.
That was quick. That's the quickest ball the two opening bowlers have bowled. I think that's what surprised Michael Atherton. It was the pace of it. It zipped through. And we just caught him there on the glove. Yeah, it was a good decision by the umpire. A little unlucky there to get a glove on it. It's half trying to play it, half trying to get out of the way.
And that brings to the wicket Graham Hick. Well, here comes Curtly Ambrose this time. Wonderful stroke by Alex Stewart. What a riposte. .41 was the deficit, and this takes England to 36 for 1.
Well, that's carried very high indeed. Couldn't get on top of it, Alex Stewart, but certainly got it away for runs. Top edge. And that boundary from Alex Stewart, the hook shot, took England level with the West Indies now. shot. Now that is the sign of a man in some sort of form, in good form at that. Just let it come to him and just merely flicked it away. And Graham Hick off the mark. .50 up for England. Alex Stewart has the bulk of them. And again down the leg side, and the second England wicket is down. Two almost identical dismissals, both going to Courtney Walsh. And both Mike Atherton and now Alex Stewart falling to just that little gentle brush of the glove on its way down the leg side. Agonising for Alex Stewart, he'd been playing so well.
Just pitching short on about middle stump, going across Alex Stewart, couldn't get his hand out of the way, and on its way to Junior Murray, and Courtney Walsh has his second wicket.
Graham Thorpe now on his way out. And England at 51 for 2, well, in effect, 10 for 2. And he hasn't seen it. Again, that slower delivery, top of the sight screen. Graham Thorpe never knew what was going on there. I suppose he can just be thankful it was a slower ball. Took his eyes off it, well, not that he ever had his eyes on it. And the ball, I won't quite say lobbed, because there's still a certain momentum behind even a slower delivery from Courtney Walsh. But straight onto the helmet.
Well, the ball is bowled about now, and suddenly I think Graham Thorpe lost it somewhere mid-flight between the bowler's arm and the ball getting into the helmet. For some reason there's been this tremendous problem of not seeing the ball, especially the slow ball from Courtney Walsh when he's bowling from the nursery end.
And in fact, with the advice of Dave Roberts, the England physio, is on his way back off the field, retired hurt. Never a happy moment for a batsman to arrive at the crease when his predecessor has retired hurt. And Robin Smith coming out to face the music. 52 then for 2 England, with Graham Thorpe retired hurt. That's a lovely shot. No real need to chase that. If nothing else, it might just help Ian Bishop get slightly loose for what he might have to do after tea.
Very good stroke. We've seen some good shots over the 3 days. That's right up in the top bracket. A lot of good batting, some excellent bowling. That was pitching outside off stump, and Smith has taken it, well, he's had his pads outside off stump as well and just leaned into it. It's one of Smith's favourite strokes, not executed precisely as he would have wished, but he's picked up 4 for it. Given a tremendous thrash through the covers. That's where he's strong. Well, play it well. Nothing's better off not to play it at all.
Yes, I got the impression with Graham Hick that a few years ago when Curtly Ambrose got him into trouble with all sorts of deliveries, but he's decided this time against the West Indies, anything short he's going to have a dart at. He's never really looking at the ball there. He almost closed his eyes. I think he's made up his mind. He's not going to be stuck there and bowled out like an Aunt Sally. No, he's off again. This time, much better shot. He's basically a puller of the ball rather than a hooker. If it gets up to about chest height, that's when you can pull the ball in front of square. And this one, that's where he gets onto it round about chest high, rolls the wrist, and that's an excellent shot.
There's two men down there now, and Hick has got it away for four. That's greeted with rapturous applause from the crowd, but I think we might see on the replay that he wasn't actually looking at the ball. He still got it off the meat of the bat. It's his complete reflex action. Maybe it was meant to be the slower ball again. Quite a bizarre delivery. That's a lovely stroke, and that is four. That's a terrific shot.
Well, just drifting in onto the leg. See, it starts from his arm outside off stump and drifts into middle and leg.
Well, they've moved along quickly now to the 100 mark. 100 for 2, Hick 33 and Smith 15.
Mark Ramprakash. Short one pulled away. That's a sensible way to play Carl Hooper at the moment. The man who took 2 wickets in the first innings, just wait for the bad ball and then you can punish it.
Well, Graham Hicks certainly not in two ways here, making sure he hits it and hits it hard.
And again, shade more beef in that. Still 4.
Carbon copy of the first one, perhaps putting a little bit more effort into that.
Ian Bishop. Great cheer, not for the best shot of the day, but for Graham Hick's half-century.
Graham Hick has played with great aggression, taking everything that was thrown at him. He's given some fight, he's had good nerves, he's kept his nerve.
Beautifully timed stroke. He's hit that with the most superb touch. Gone for 6, and it takes him on to 65.
As good and as well timed and straight hit as you would see. Graham Hick certainly coming into his own and looking more confident with every ball.
Now they'll get 3 there if it doesn't finally run to the boundary. Even the fielder taking some of the pace off it wasn't able to stop the boundary. Good shot. For 3 now, and Hick has gone. There's nothing more comprehensive than that, and he will be very, very disappointed. Excellent innings, good partnership, 67 for him, and a very good piece of bowling from Ian Bishop.
No real reason why he should have missed that. Just should have went between bat and pad. Just seemed to play a little bit down the wrong line.
Five more runs added to take it along to 155 for 3 when bad light stopped play, and the players never got back on once the light had been offered and they made their way to the dressing rooms. Mark Ramprakash was the new batsman to come out. He's not off the mark yet, and Smith is 31 not out. The outstanding innings of the day, though, from Graham Hick before Bishop bowled him. He made 67. And this is the way he put the innings together. Very, very impressive. Only 92 balls faced for those 67 runs. He hit 10 fours and one magnificent 6 off Carl Hooper, and it was an absolute delight to watch. Graham Thorpe, news of him. He's gone to hospital and he'll be detained there overnight, but it's only a precaution, and it was most unfortunate so far as he was concerned. Bowling figures for the West Indies, 2 wickets there for Walsh. He bowled with great pace early on, 10 overs, 1 maiden, 2 for 39, and a wicket for Bishop, 1 for 20. But they didn't quite get what they might have expected out of the pitch. Everyone in the West Indies side seemed to be talking about the pitch, but nothing came up precisely as they wanted, and England fought very, very hard towards the end. The state of the game, after 3 days, England 283 and 155 for 3, with Walsh 2 for 39. West Indies 324, and an intriguing state of affairs there with 2 days to go. England 114 runs ahead. And with his ideas on what's been happening out there and what is likely to happen, here's Geoffrey Boycott.
Well, the first time in this test match where the batsmen have held sway. 270 runs scored in a shortened day. Keith Arthurton for West Indies probably playing the most important innings I've ever seen him play in difficult circumstances. His application, his concentration, his patience were top class. For England, it was Graham Hick with a certain amount of luck and quite a bit of aggression, and Robin Smith with some sensible batting that got them into a good position. But at the moment, everybody's talking about this pitch. Was it a better pitch today? Well, I don't think so. I think it's still the same pitch. But I think the cold atmosphere, the overcast conditions, made the pitch play a little bit better. 1 or 2 low balls, but not so many as yesterday. 1 or 2 balls that just jumped a little bit, but again, not so many that hit the batsman on the fingers. I think it played pretty well, but all in all, it's still an opportunity for both sides to win the game. It's there for who's strong enough and good enough to take advantage.
Well, I agree with Geoffrey Boycott that there's still plenty of fun in store for everyone, commentators, players, those who come to the ground, and television watchers over the last 2 days of this game. I don't think there's anything wrong with the pitch. There's a little bit of variable bounce, but it's provided us so far with 3 great days. A lot of tension, a lot of good play, good batting and bowling, and some brilliant fielding, and that's precisely what we want to see. 2 days to go, and we'll be coming up tomorrow on BBC One at 10:55 a.m. England's middle order batsmen have a tough job ahead of them today. Overnight, Robin Smith was on 31. Mark Ramprakash, a duck in the first innings, is not yet off the mark in the second. But good news about Graham Thorpe. After being hit in the head by an accidental beamer from Courtney Walsh yesterday and spending the night in St Mary's Hospital, he declared himself fully fit to play. Well, welcome to the highlights of the 4th day's play of this Test match at Lord's. It's been an enthralling contest so far, and this is the way the card looks at the start of play. 155 for 3, just confirming Smith 31 and Ramprakash no score. And yesterday Hick played very well for his 67 and Stewart for his 36. The bowling figures for West Indies, they worked hard yesterday and they bowled well. Walsh 2 for 39 and Bishop 1 for 20, and that score for England of 155 for 3. And the situation of the game, England 283 all out and 155 for 3, West Indies 324, England 114 runs ahead, and I reckon They need to set the West Indians a target of around about 300 in their second innings. Well, the pitch has played a big part in this game so far. Here's the report from Geoffrey Boycott.
Well, fourth morning, we're going to have a look and see where the umpires are worried about bowlers running on the pitch. This is round about middle stump down the pitch. Now, they've got to keep off within 12 inches. So if I stick my boot here, there we are. It comes to about here. And you can see these footmarks. This is where Bishop has run on the pitch around the wicket. And just about here, there are stud marks that the umpires will not accept. So he's got to keep off that 12 inches from middle stump. The pitch and the cracks, well, they're still here, look. This one's really disintegrated. It's just become dirt. Knocked the edges off altogether. And it won't change a lot. I think we're still going to get the low balls as the match progresses, but not so many high balls. So it's still going to be hard work for the batsmen, and we should have an interesting cricket match.
It certainly is going to be interesting. It's been wonderful so far. Great for capacity crowds on each of the days. We join play now in the first over. Ian Bishop is the bowler from the nursery end. Mark Ramprakash is taking strike. He's not off the mark, and no runs have been added this morning. Caught. But he's waiting. Now we'll just have to wait and see what umpire Shepherd has said. Umpire Shepherd says out. It looked as though it was taken by slip. Looked as though it was a clean catch. Need to have a look at the replay to see if there was a problem of any kind there. But for the moment, we know only that Mark Ramprakash is out, and he's the 7th England player to collect a pair at Lord's. I can't see any reason other than disappointment for not being certain about that. Thick nick, clean catch, and extreme disappointment. The batsman coming out now to take Ramprakash's place is Graham Thorpe. Injured yesterday with the first ball he received from Courtney Walsh. The man who took that catch was Stuart Williams, and he's on for Carl Hooper. Into Thorpe's mind at the moment will be, what will it be? Bouncer? Yorker? I'd suggest the Yorker might be on the cards. He's off the mark. It's an unusual style of shot, but very effective. Thorpe remains perfectly balanced when he plays that little pull shot. That's well bowled. He's been lively this morning, Courtney Walsh. The first over he bowled was a bit of a loosener, but still got some steep bounce.
He's flicked that away rather nicely. Just whipped it away off the hips. Now that's becoming a very familiar shot from Graham Thorpe. Really done just on the line of the ball. Slightly short. Not a genuine pull by a long way. That's a good shot. Really just eased away through the covers. Overpitched by Courtney Walsh. Great shots. Otis Gibson giving that up immediately.
Well, it's a fighting pitch, is this? You've got to work for your runs. It's a glorious shot. Even if you were on a perfect batting pitch in Barbados, you couldn't see a better shot than this.
Graham Thorpe outscoring Robin Smith very easily this morning. Robin Smith was 31 when the day started. Graham Thorpe was yet to resume his innings. That's a firm push. Good firm push from Robin Smith. A loosener for Curtly Ambrose. Well, Curtly Ambrose has assumed the ball has taken the rope. He was hurdling the fences most athletically.
Well, it didn't seem to me as if the ball went over the rope. He seemed to chase it, stick his boot there, and then there we are, and then off he goes and doesn't rush back.
Well, whatever happened to that ball at the edge of the field, Robin Smith still getting 4 in any case. They'd run before they claimed, or would have claimed, that the ball hit the rope.
That was a quick Yorker. He is deceptive, Courtney Law. Sometimes you think he's just under really fast pace, and all of a sudden he comes from nowhere, very quick, pitching outside leg stump. Now that's the sort of Yorker he was bowling yesterday in the foolish delivery, that bowling from the nursery end instead of this pavilion end.
That was short, quick, and Graham Thorpe did very well not to edge that straight to slip.
Well, that was a naughty delivery to get. I mean, it just took off a little bit. Well, actually, to get it down in front of second slip, that could have flown easily. I mean, that's another really good short of a length ball. I mean, we've had 1 hour's cricket and hardly anything's really done much, and then we've had 3 in this over.
Well, that took off as well. It was luckily wide, impossible to stop for the wicketkeeper. And 4 byes, but you see, that's an extraordinary over in the middle of what Geoffrey Boycott has described as a sort of some plain good cricket.
Yes, can't blame the keeper for that, although I don't understand why he didn't go with his left hand.
Oh, that's a wicked delivery.
It's getting nice and interesting now. I like my cricket. Tough, hard, competitive. Better than those boring test matches where both sides get 550 and everybody gets runs.
Picked it off. It went like lightning down to a fine third man position. And up comes the 50 partnership.
Just well, you could hit that in league cricket, school cricket. And I'm sure it's the slope that affected him. He just gets wide of the crease and just shoves it in there, and that's just a juicy full toss.
And that's his 50. Second half century in the match for Robin Smith, and all his colleagues in the dressing room know just what a mental effort and physical effort he's made to come back into this England side. and he's exactly where he loves to be, out there in the middle, battling for England. 53 not out.
This is a dangerous over from Curtly Ambrose. He's really getting stuck in out there. It's a good over. That's just about the best over we've seen this morning. Tremendous effort in those 6 balls there from Curtly Ambrose. Richie Richardson will have called for a great effort from his bowlers once the lead got up to the 150 mark and he started to spread the field. 222 for 4 now. Brave shot, considering what happened to him yesterday with the first ball he faced.
Otis Gibson is not bowling as quickly as he bowled yesterday, but still he got bunks. So trying to get his hand, and the bat rolled over the ball.
Well, Ambrose is cranky, and Smith has just broken the shackles temporarily, I suspect. This will give you an indication of how cranky Curtly Ambrose was when he just deviated in direction a fraction and gave Smith the chance to get away from the strike. A bit taller than Rob Andrew, but the effect would be the same. Good cricket, and very thoughtful cricket from Smith as well. We're coming up towards the luncheon interval. Desperation not to get out, and yet he's come back for the second run and he's kept the strike against Ambrose.
It's Ambrose who's bowling at the nursery end at the moment. Graham Thorpe to face. It's got him, that's a great catch. It went very quick, low, and that's just the slice of luck that Curtly Ambrose and the West Indies were looking for. It was hit on the up by Graham Thorpe, aimed away square of the wicket, but it went straight to gully, and that's a position we haven't seen for much of the day.
Well, I've been mentioning about gully. It's a very important position on this pitch. A super catch, really.
Dominic Cork is the new batsman, also in his first Test match. He made 30 in the first innings. Dominic Cork off the mark and not prepared to take on the arm of Otis Gibson, which is probably quite a good decision. England have a 200-run lead. Well, it's useful bowling. Robin Smith survives.
Well, it's bound to get to any bowler when you keep beating the batsman on the inside through the gate like that. Yeah, he's crossed. Great shot. Well, that was a cracker. He doesn't have to bother running for that.
Neatly tucked away.
And there's still some of that in the pitch. A surprising bounce that caught the West Indies by surprise and prompted some of their complaints.
There's some sort of a finger injury. We're told from the dressing room that it's a broken blood vessel.
It gets away from the second slip and is 4 runs. Disheartening for Curtly Ambrose. It's found the edge of the bat, but the ball's gone down, it's gone fast, and it just escaped second slip.
Stroke there. The ball punched away through mid-wicket by Dominic Cork, who has played and missed a few times, but has also looked like just the young player to carry the attack for the West Indies. 50 partnership between Robin Smith and Dominic Cork. And Junior Murray has got him. Ian Bishop has bowled well. Dominic Cork has gone. That last ball where he would have realised how close it was, that it went just over the top of the bails, may have drawn him into the stroke there, where he followed the ball from Bishop, and Junior Murray took the catch.
Darren Gough.
That's that back. Oh, it's skewed away. There's a lot of flourish in that, and 4 runs as well. Great shot. What a shot that brings up the 300 for England.
He's gone. Curtly Ambrose has got him. That one kept a bit low. There'll be a moment of disquiet for the West Indian batsman. Looked as though Darren Gough and Robin Smith were expecting the ball to lift more than it did. This one kept relatively low.
There's very little Robin Smith could do about this. He would have expected that ball to bounce a little bit more. It's a new ball. Ambrose is bowling, but he played really, really well. Exceptional innings from Robin Smith.
Peter Martin is the new batsman. 320 for 7. Should be someone able to get that, unless he's placed it magnificently. Extraordinary. Absolutely extraordinary. He's played the pull shot. Looked as though he was trying to hit it up in the air over square leg, but it was on him a little quickly, and it's gone for 4 over long off. 288 the lead. Psychologically, 300 would be the start for England. And that's the finish for Darren Gough. Really did a good job on that stump. It was a very quick delivery. No good looking back, my boy. It's still gone. Let's see where this hit on the stumps. Well, No, I reckon that was a normal bounce. I don't think he was discomforted there by anything but the pace and the noise of leather on ash. From 44 balls. Richard Illingworth comes out now. Well, that 300 lead is looking a bit further away now. At 29, security attendants trying to get hold of her. Very gently, I trust. All set again now. Atherton. Well, he's inspired by what's just happened. And so's Ambrose, but Martin has found it slightly off-putting. He's out for one. Got by Atherton off Ambrose. And it's now 334 for 9. It's beautifully anticipated by Atherton. And he had the problem of the umpire being there. The umpire was just behind him. And you could say in perfect position to see. And now it's 334 for 9. And the tail's not wagging. This is making life considerably easier for the West Indian team. 295 the lead now. Here's Walsh. And that's where the lead will stay. Richard Illingworth is out for 4. LBW to Courtney Walsh. Angus Fraser is 2 not out. England all out for 336. Well, the tail certainly didn't wag there. 336 all out for England. A great job by Ambrose and the rest of the West Indies bowlers. But a very, very good performance from most of the England batsmen as well. Super innings from Robin Smith. He made 90, and Thorpe, I thought that was one of the bravest things I've seen to come out after that knock yesterday and a night in hospital and share that splendid partnership with Robin Smith. A pair, unfortunately, for Mark Ramprakash. But runs for Dominic Cork, who played well, and so too Darren Gough in a very flamboyant way. 336 all out. Bowling figures, justice there for Curtly Ambrose. That battle with Ambrose and Smith was quite something to watch. 3 wickets for Walsh and 3 for Bishop. And the state of the game at the end of that innings, 283 and 336 for England. West Indies 324 all out, and they needed 296 runs to win. England required 10 wickets. And we join it now with the second ball of the 4th over. Darren Gough is the bowler. We've got to Carl Hooper, and 3 runs have been added to the score.
Difficult chance. Glancing off the open face of the bat and flying to Mike Atherton at 3rd slip.
He must have thought, Michael Atherton, that he actually got it and held it. Look, and then it drops out.
Well, that's a fantastic reply for a very talented batsman. Darren Gough, very sensibly, fired the ball well up this time, and a beautiful drive from Carl Hooper. I think that's a ground staff. It is the ground staff. A pretty tiring job, I suppose, sweeping up between innings. Well bowled. Heels all around the ground. Certainly every slip went up, and Compton and Edridge stands all leapt up behind the stumps.
Yeah, it's one of those low balls, but Carl Hooper, I think we'll see, got outside off stump when he hits him on the pad. Not a lot, but just enough.
The crowd looking at the big screen here at Lord's do not agree with the umpire. I think it's as simply put as that.
I don't think they're impartial, though, somehow.
hoik. It lands over mid-off's head. It's running away to the pavilion and beats the fielder. Well, what an extraordinary over this has been. We saw Carl Hooper drop third slip. A flying chance, but those are the things that win matches. Saw a glorious shot and a Sunday school shot.
Looks to me as if Hooper's going to hit anything that he can possibly lay bat on. Well, I'm not sure that's the best way to play on this pitch. I think it's okay to play a shot or two, but people who've survived, the people who've been very selective about their shot making.
Well, that is a fine shot. Whereas one or two others have smacked of just a little desperation. He really eases into this one.
When you get on these pitches where the ball does a little bit, it stops a bit, keeps a bit low occasionally, it's very easy to get it into your mind, well, I'm going to get out here, I'm going to get out, so I better play a few shots and get some runs before I get out to one of those balls. And then, what happens, you're liable to get yourself out from a fairly innocuous, reasonable length delivery.
That's in the air and caught, so Carl Hooper lets himself down, lets the West Indies team down. He's looked out of sorts, and now he's out of luck as well. Simple catch for Peter Martin. Badly mistimed shot from Carl Hooper. West Indies' first wicket down for 15.
See, that's an atrocious waste of a wicket. A man of his talent, he's never really believed that he could back on that. And that's the sort of thing that West Indian public back home for him really get angry about, that he throws his wickets away like this. Good length ball, the ball hasn't done anything inexplicable, and all he's done is thrown his wicket away. He's just given England a terrific boost. They haven't had to take his wicket. He said, here, I'll play a couple of shots and then you can have it.
So once again, Brian Lara on his way out. Early in the West Indies innings. 15 for 1, and I'm sure the entire ground here this afternoon, this evening, senses that it's an important 50 minutes now ahead of us.
The interesting thing for me will be to see how Lara plays. It looked to me in the first innings if he didn't really fancy the pitch.
Fancies that. No problems at all.
Well, he hit those in his sleep. I mean, that's a real long hop, bouncing halfway down the pitch, sits up begging to be whacked, and he's just the man to whack it.
Well, he was LBW in the first innings to Angus Fraser. It strikes me that Angus Fraser thought he might have got him again.
No, I think it was outside leg stump, but he does walk across his wickets. He really does walk across those stumps, look, and try to play it a bit too square.
Andy Roberts will be hoping that his comments about the pitch aren't substantiated over the next 24 hours or so. I think the key to this match lies largely in his batsman. Inside edge. He might well get 4 for it, and does. Nicely struck. Well, Sherwin Campbell hasn't had much on his plate today in terms of easy offerings. Very grateful for that one. Cracking shot. Just rocks back Brian Lara, gave himself that little bit of extra room he needed. Right off the meat of the bat.
But for once, Angus Fraser straying much too wide for a defensive shot from Brian Lara and just caressing it through backward point, hitting it with the middle of the bat, perhaps the best shot he's played this afternoon.
Four runs. Beautiful shot from Brian Lara. Real flourish of the wrists. Four more. Well, this has been a destructive over for West Indies. 12 coming from it. Well, that might just be the end of Angus Fraser's spell.
And Angus Fraser, for once, again, being much too wide for the left-hander. Brian Lara is going to bank that anytime you bowl outside of the off stump. And in the kind of mood he's in, that was 4 runs from the time he hit it.
Michael Atherton will give Richard Illingworth a go from the pavilion end now. See if there's little in the pitch for him, produce some indecision over these last few overs on the 4th evening. 52 for 1. Quite the start Richard Illingworth had in mind.
This is very much a gift. The first ball slipping out of his hand. The ball is still relatively new, 13 overs. Perhaps not getting the kind of grip he would want. Kevin Campbell dispatching of the gift, 4 runs.
Brilliant stroke. That's what England have to guard against. The opportunity of providing for the batsmen a chance to play off the back foot, giving them plenty of sight of the ball.
Martin's a little bit taller than Fraser and gotten perhaps less bounce, which should not happen, but Lara again outside of the off stump and quite easy, more or less his favorite shot for him to dispatch it to backward point.
Dash at that one, which is slightly overpitched. All these runs this evening priceless for the West Indies, just to reduce that task tomorrow. One more run added to take it along to 68 for 1 at the close of play on the 4th evening. And the West Indies a slight advantage there. Hooper out for 14. Campbell did very well. He went right through to the end for 14. Wasn't flurried at all when Lara came in and played so beautifully to make 38 not out in almost the same number of balls. 68 for 1. The bowling figures for England. They weren't quite as much on the ball as in the first innings, but picked up that 1 wicket of Carl Hooper. Fraser, no wicket for 23. Gough 1 for 27. Illingworth 3 overs for 8, and Martin the same figures, 3 overs for 8. So at the close of play on the 4th day, that is the situation. West Indies need 228 more runs to win. And after the game, David Gower spoke with Robin Smith and asked him what he reckoned were the odds for the final day's play.
Well, it's very much in the balance. It would have been lovely tonight had we been able to get 1 more wicket. That of probably Brian's. He's just an unbelievable player. He makes it look so easy. And I guess, you know, if we can get him out early on tomorrow morning, the pressure will really be on the West Indies. It'll get our tails up, and I think it's going to be a great day's cricket.
Terrific performance from Robin Smith, talking there with David Gower. And now here's Geoffrey Boycott with his ideas on the day's play and what might happen tomorrow.
Well, in this seesaw test match, England grabbed the initiative in the first two sessions of play, basically through Robin Smith and Graham Thorpe. Robin Smith, he played and missed a bit, yeah, rode his luck, but all in all, he ground out what could be a possible match-winning innings. Graham Thorpe, his was a plucky innings, really, after the knock on the head the day before. Ambrose and Walsh took the new ball after tea and polished off the England batting, but I thought it had all come a little bit too late. England will go home tonight thinking that, yes, West Indies can win, and so can they. But I think if I had to make a bet, I'd put my money on England. But then again, Brian Lara's still there, isn't he? And I think that will cause England just a little bit of a sleepless night. If Lara stays tomorrow for 3 hours, then West Indies can win it too.
Yes, a very exciting day coming up on the final day. And we've had 4 good ones. This has been a wonderful test match, one of the best I've seen in recent years. And that after considerable criticism about the pitch, which already has produced almost 1,000 runs. Well, we'll be back for the final day, 10:55 a.m. on BBC One for this Cornhill Test match. At the moment, from Lord's, it's goodbye. The last time England defeated the West Indies at Lord's was way back in 1957.
He's bowled him off his pads. England have won by an innings and 36 runs. And all the crowd and the small boys dashing onto the field.
England will be aware, though, of the dangers of the West Indian batsmen. In 1984 at Lord's, Gordon Greenidge made 214 as the West Indies successfully chased the massive target of 342. Today, the target is another 228 runs for an overall total of 296. They don't have Greenidge, but they do have another Barbadian, Sherwin Campbell, and of course, they have Brian Lara. Welcome to the highlights of the final day of this Cornhill Test match. We've had 4 great days so far, scintillating cricket, good batting, good bowling and some brilliant fielding, and this is the way the final day began. That's the scorecard of the West Indies second innings, 68 for 1. Hooper the man out for 14, he fell to Gough, caught by Martin at mid-off. Then Campbell unbeaten on 14 and Brian Lara some lovely stroke play in that 38 not out. 68 for 1 and the wicket taken there by Gough, 6 overs, no maiden, and 1 for 27. Just to bring you up to date with the match situation, coming into the last day, England 283 and 336 all out. West Indies 324 and 68 for 1. They need another 228 more runs to win. Well, the pitch has been the subject of much comment in recent times, and here's Geoffrey Boycott out in the centre.
Well, spinners haven't played any part in this match so far. 31 wickets have fallen, and only 2 to spinners, if you can call Carl Hooper a spinner. I mean, these footmarks should come into play, particularly against the left-handers. Richard Illingworth should be able to bowl into the edges of these when Lara and Atherton are batting the left-handers. He could even bowl into them when the right-handers are batting, bowling at leg stump. But I still think the seamers will play the major part. Here we are, right down the middle of the pitch. If you can just look here, the wear and tear, those cracks have disintegrated on the edges. Here they are. There are bound to be a number of low balls, but all in all, the batsmen should still be able to play on it. The reason, the pitch has got slower and slower, so although the low balls appear, they can still make runs if they apply themselves.
A very interesting day's play coming up here, the 5th day of this test match, and we join it in the first over. It's the 4th ball. Darren Gough is the bowler. Brian Lara is taking strike, and 3 runs have been added to the overnight total.
Just short. That was so nearly the early wicket that England needed. 3 slips there waiting for the edge. This one just dropping short of a third of them. Brian Lara did well, just didn't push out at it. Angus Fraser prepared now to open the attack from the nursery end. Bowling to Sherwin Campbell. Oh, that's going to be 4. Now, runs should be precious to England this morning. That's throughout whatever is needed of the day. By leaving the third man out of contention at this stage, anything like this guided away down there, especially when the bowling is from the nursery end, is going to run away very quickly for 4. Oh, good stop. Nice piece of fielding. On the line of gully, but very deep. News from the England dressing room. Graham Thorpe, who's suffering from a throat infection this morning, might reappear if necessary after lunch. He's been given antibiotics. Nothing too serious. Well, there's plenty of space at square leg, and that's nicely timed too. Darren Gough has got 9 of his fielders. Right, 7 of his fielders on the offside. The 7-2 split this is. And Brian Lara very adept at this. It's a lovely shot. Just a turn of the wrists.
That was a really good shot. Short, back lift, just firm, crisp follow through. Not the flourishing drives that we've sometimes seen in play. That was real control.
No need to run for that. Darren Gough has overpitched this morning too often, and that last one gives Brian Lara the chance to go to 50. Not out of 59 deliveries. Not this time. Anything up there is going to go like a rocket. Darren Gough doesn't have to stray by much. Brian Lara is going to capitalise.
You don't need to run a lot when he hits them like that.
Oh, beautifully taken. Great catch by Alex Stewart. That's the change that England needed. 2 boundaries followed by the wicket of Brian Lara. So England has struck back. That was a great catch.
Oh, it's a pretty good catch this from the opening batsman. Oh, top class. Good ball. Real great catch. That wouldn't have carried to first slip. He got right across. It never looked like missing it. Right smack in the middle of the glove.
All he could do was reach it with the left hand and caught it beautifully. So the most important wicket as far as England will have seen it has been taken. Good line from Darren Gough too. Just that hint of movement away and the right length. So Jimmy Adams is left-hander replacing the left-hander. 99 for 2 West Indies.
Another one, but beautifully stopped. That's the sort of feeling you need. A crucial day, every run priceless. That's the sort of athleticism required, and desperation as well.
So he's now 3 slips the gully and the 3rd man, which means he's decided that he's going to attack, but yet he has to defend at the same time.
That's destroyed whatever Michael Atherton's theories might have been. It is, in the end, a one-hand shot.
But with extra man, a 3rd man, it allows something of an extra space somewhere in the offside. It's just a mid-off and extra cover. Therefore, you have a lot of space playing a shot like this.
That's a very good shot indeed plenty of power straight down the ground, and that'll be 4 runs.
Well, perhaps the timing was not as perfect as Jimmy Adams would have liked, but certainly hit it with the middle of the bat.
Caught him, second slip. Jimmy Adams goes, and that's a terrific blow for England. He's usually very cautious and strikes out only when he's certain that that cover drive did not come off. A thick outside edge went to Hick at second slip. 124 for 3.
And highly uncharacteristic of Jimmy Adams, especially in these circumstances. A very, very wide ball. And the man at second slip, Hick, made no mistake. Adams tempted into the drive. Very difficult for a man at second slip to drop something like that. That was straight in, just about the midriff. Dominic Cork strikes, and strikes well.
Incoming batsman is Richie Richardson. Oh, and that beats him beautifully bowled this time. It's a maiden over.
Few batsmen will actually touch that. That was too good for many, many people.
Wonderful stroke, and it's worth watching again his footwork. And this is a man who's actually changed his style of play within the scope of these 2 first Test matches. And that's a big shot, and that is out. Very impressive bowling by this England side, and especially by Dominic Cork. So Richie Richardson goes for naught, and it's 130 for 4. In fact, he got his left foot in line with the ball, but his foot right across, absolutely in line with the ball, and that makes it very difficult. The bat has to come around the front pad, and you need to be in some time to play across the line like that. Keith Arthurton.
132 for 4 West Indies in this second innings. 3 wickets falling this morning. Lara, Adams and Richardson. And a very tense period of play now. Not a run scored for 7 overs. And there comes that first run for a long, long time. It also brings up Sherwin Campbell's 50. So that's been a hard-fought 50 for Sherwin Campbell. Little man from Barbados. First appearance at Lord's in a Test match. It's been very well played.
Got him. Inside edge onto pad, and umpire Shepherd signalling straight away that it's a catch, not LBW. And Dominic Cork has struck again. Paul Weeks, the subfielder, is the man in there at Shortford Square. And that is another blow for the West Indians, and a cruel one too. It's 138 for 5. Arthurton, 40 balls he faced, didn't get off the mark, and 49 minutes in all.
Perfectly pitched. Leg cut it to the right-hander. Coming back into the left-hander, and just touch. West Indies are in serious trouble at this stage.
It was an interesting gesture from umpire Shepherd. I haven't actually seen that before, but it's something the ICC have been working on, I suppose, a little along the lines of football refereeing, where they will let the people know exactly what is happening and what type of decision has been made and why it's been made. New batsman now, Junior Murray. Shot, that'll race away down the hill towards the tavern. Going to get a game for Worcestershire United.
Peter Martin again creating the mortal sin of bowling on the leg stump. He's only got 3 men there, the fine leg, the square leg, and the man wide at mid-wicket. This one's just going past the man at square leg. The man at fine leg couldn't stop it.
Well, this is good cricket from Campbell now, because he realises they're down to, well, not quite the tail. You're still with the all-rounders there, Murray and Gibson, but he is the one now who has to take charge. And he's not all that experienced, but that's clever cricket. That's a fine stroke. Just racing away down towards the pavilion, and a lovely boundary from a player who's showing terrific temperament out there.
We've seen 2 batsmen on England's team actually get out this way, and Darren Gough's reaction suggested that it must have been a touch there, but Stewart did not actually get it cleanly. Reaction seems a little bit of disappointment.
It's not a good line. Not a good piece of fielding either. Not only has Mike Atherton to be aware of what's likely to happen and keep himself right on top of things, but the responsibility on his bowlers and his fielders, I think his praise are a long way away from that. That's going to be 4. Really is Junior Murray's stronger side, that. And although Darren Gough has a man at square leg and a man at a wideish mid-on, really can't afford to stray too much towards leg stump like that. It was just drifting in a bit. Catch it. The shouts are gone. It's a good catch, and he's out. Great piece of work at short leg. So the substitute fielder, Paul Weeks, takes another good catch. First one simple, this one's a far better catch. Had to move to his right. Again, just the inside edge, onto the pad. That's a very good catch.
Well, England have got the right man in the right position. Junior Murray just got himself tucked up there. He didn't seem to really want to play it with a straight bat.
Otis Gibson, the new batsman, playing in his first Test match. Showing Campbell reduced to the role of spectator just for now, as Otis Gibson prepares to face his first ball from Darren Gough. That's got to be close. Just slipping down the leg side. The excitement of the moment taking the England fielders off their feet, the crowd off their feet, off their chairs. And that ball just swinging in.
Yes, it was just the late swing, as David mentioned, that saved him, but they're always looking to whip it through the onside. They don't seem to want to play anything straight.
Sherwin Campbell had no idea just how close that ball was to his stumps. You'll have a look at the replay on the big scoreboard on the big monitor at Lord's this year.
Woo. Yes, the ball seemed to get dragged round by his hands. It sort of hit the hip, and his hands seemed to drag it round. It was a swing into the leg and dropped over the top.
That's going to be 4 straight down the ground. Again, there's a big element of risk in this shot. Feet have gone low where it's just a swing of the bat.
Yes, David's right. It's all a matter of luck. There's no footwork at all. The feet just stand. They're stuck almost in concrete in the batting crease, and he just throws the bat at the ball.
Dominic Cork, I think, recognizing that things have been just too serene for a while, deciding that he's going to give Otis Gibson something to remind him that this is still a test match. He's still a fast bowler.
It's 4 runs, and that won't bring you to the liking of Michael Atherton or to Dominic Cork for that matter. The two batsmen punch fists in the middle of the pitch. It's a while since they've done that. They might be just starting to look at the score again and think we can do this. LBW. Otis Gibson has gone to Cork. 198 now for 7, 3 wickets in hand for West Indies. Otis Gibson gone for 14. LBW to Dominic Cork, who's had 2 very good days here. Valuable partnership yesterday and wickets today. He's just playing down the wrong line there. He missed it by a good 2 or 3 inches, I'd reckon. He's playing outside his pad, and the ball has gone straight through and struck him just below the knee roll. Ian Bishop is the new batsman. Concentrating on 2s or 4s, and then the quick single will be 5th or 6th ball will be over. 200 up. Now it's still possible for the West Indies. 201 for 7, Campbell on 93. Stewart, another catch. Cork, a 5th wicket. And Campbell, 93. A brave innings and technically a magnificent one. Very, very good performance from Sherwin Campbell. There are a lot of people around the ground and watching on television. Very sorry he's got an inside edge there and hasn't gone on to make it. Stump vision gives a very good shot, and so does the close-up camera. There's a little inside edge and the ball carrying through to Alex Stewart. Disappointment there for Sherwin Campbell. Now Curtly Ambrose. 94 needed or 2 wickets needed? There it is. It's straight down the ground shot. Never discard Curtly with the bat. Don't discard him with the ball either. But I've seen him play some very, very annoying innings from the fielding side's point of view. he does that, then he blocks by numbers, then he'll hit a couple more boundaries. All of a sudden, you look up and he's made 25 or 30. More runs there. One thing about these two cricketers, Bishop and Ambrose, is they're never beaten. They always reckon until the final one goes down that they can save the game or even have a little dash at winning it.
And here are some runs. In fact, 3 of them. Watch where it lands.
Well, this ball gets tangled up in the body and just nearly drags it onto the stumps.
Thank you very much. Dominic Cork's 6th wicket. Curtly Ambrose in very similar fashion to his dismissal in the first innings, lobs an easy catch to cover. He's gone for 11. West Indies are 9 down.
Puts forward a little bit, but the weight is on the back foot. He's not really over the top of the ball.
So England now 1 wicket away from that victory they so earnestly seek. Dominic Cork has his 6th, and Courtney Walsh is the last man in for the West Indies.
Coming at Cork, ball really well. He's bustled in, been aggressive, swung the ball a little bit, seamed it. He's not only had a good day getting 6 wickets, but he's earned them. Ball really aggressively well. Been talking for a long time of England about getting an all-rounder. He made a few runs.
There it is, the victory for England. They've won this Lord's Test match handsomely, and Dominic Cork has taken 7 wickets on his debut in Test cricket. Michael Atherton has done a terrific job. His captaincy in the first innings, I thought, was really good. In the second, top class, he kept the pressure on. Dominic Cork, 50 runs in the Test match and 7 wickets. First time he's played Test cricket. A magnificent performance. That was a brilliant performance from England. 223 all out, the West Indies. It was in the middle order, and towards the end they fell away, although they came back a bit with Gibson, Bishop and Ambrose, but it was much too late. At the top of the order, Sherwin Campbell can be very proud of his performance. That was a great innings, 93 at Lord's, and he had West Indies at one stage on target for a win. Lara 54, and then Jimmy Adams 13. Richardson a duck was the crucial moment for the West Indies. The bowling for England, dominated by Cork, 19.3 overs, 5 maidens, 7 for 43. I thought Gough bowled pretty well, 3 for 79 in 20 overs, bowled within himself all the time, and those 2 bowlers took all the wickets. So the match for England, they won by 72 runs. The series is 1 all. Man of the match, Dominic Cork, but there were a lot of heroes in this game for both England and the West Indies. 283 and 336. And West Indies 324 and 223 all out. Cork 7 for 43. And after the festivities began, David Gower talked first of all with Michael Atherton.
Mike, many congratulations. At the start of the day, it looked very evenly poised with 228 still needed to win, 9 wickets still to fall. How are your plans looking then? I thought we were marginal favourites. People overnight didn't seem to think so, but you know, wearing wicket and the pressure's on, we had runs on the board, so I felt we were in the advantageous position, and we needed maybe 2 wickets in the first hour, which we got.
Were you at all concerned that the way that, to say, Brian Lara had played the night before, he looked intent on really winning the match by tea time?
We didn't bowl badly. He's the type of player that if he stays in, he scores at a rate, and you just have to accept that both as a captain and as a field inside, and it was important we got to him. And Stewie took a quite magnificent catch.
Yeah, he's done very well, hasn't he? All this controversy about Alex Stewart in the keeper's role. He actually does keep very well, doesn't he?
He does, particularly standing back. He dropped an easier one off Junior Murray, but that was his only blemish in the match. And, you know, that catch off Lara was probably the match-winning catch for us.
Now, your bowlers stuck to their task manfully throughout. Dominic Cork, not a bad debut for him.
Had a fantastic match. He's an aggressive cricketer, and it's good to see. He brought his aggression to the Test match arena. You know, bowled kind of nippy outswing and deserved his rewards.
It seems also that if you put pressure on players, sometimes it works. Robin Smith coming into this Test match. 1 or 2 rumours, I suggest, nothing more than that in the press, suggesting that it might have been his last if he hadn't succeeded. Very good performance by him too.
We didn't unduly put the pressure on him. We just suggested that as a player with 45, 50 tests under his belt, you know, he ought to be shoring up our middle order. And, you know, we've brought him back down into the middle order this game, and he played 2 magnificent innings.
Well, congratulations. Look forward to the rest of the series. Now looking at a close contest. Richie, after that success at Headingley, where everything went your way, it's been a hard battle here, hasn't it?
Well, yeah, it's we got to start all over again. We had a very good start, but we didn't play all that well in this Test match. England batted very, very well the second innings, and gave us 290 runs to win. And it's always going to be very difficult to get that many runs in the last day, especially in this wicket.
Because he'd done well through the first innings of the match, kept England down to what looked below par total, managed to ease past yourself. How much of a worry was the pitch? Because by and large, it seemed to last pretty well through the 5 days.
Yeah, at the start of the match it looked very, very dry. There were some very large cracks, and for some reason we didn't think that it would last all 5 days. But it played very well, apart from maybe the second day, and it just played quite well. I think you just had to apply yourselves and occupy the crease.
But did you agree with your manager's comments, Andy Roberts, when he came out halfway through the Test match, suggesting that perhaps the pitch had been prepared with England rather more in mind?
Well, I don't know exactly what he said. I mean, you read all sorts of things in the newspaper. The thing is, I heard that the groundsman was accused of leaving the wicket too damp earlier on in the season, so he tried to take out some of the moisture, and this is what happened. I'm not really criticizing the wicket. I've played on a lot worse wicket than that one.
Now, the contest at 1-1 after 2. A lot of cricket still to be played. How do you see this series developing?
I still feel that we've got a very good chance. We beat England convincingly in the first test, and we had a very good chance here. 4 Test matches left, and I believe we have a very good chance.
Well, it was a very good Test match, as indeed both captains said. And here's the hero of the day for England, Dominic Cork, with David Gower.
Dominic, congratulations. First Test match, a match-winning performance. It's fairy tale stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, I was so happy to be in the side on Thursday morning, and you know, it's all gone right. But you know, it's a team effort. We've all done well out there, and I'm just, you know, so happy to be involved in a Test match win at Lord's.
You say it's a team effort. I assume that from the moment you walked into that dressing room, people started to make you welcome.
Yeah, you know, I felt welcome all the way through, from the 1 days and even into this Test match as well. And you know, it's a great spirit in there, and I think we can go on from here and prove we're a good force in cricket.
First Test match, but you've had a lot of experience for Derbyshire, firstly, of course, where you've been taking wickets this season. Also on tour this winter with England A. How much of a preparation is an England A tour, it was India and Bangladesh this winter, for the real thing, for Test cricket itself?
Yeah, India is quite a hard place to tour, you know, as you know. You know, you've got to suffer with medical problems and everything out there. And it seemed to teach me, in particular, you know, how to be patient in the middle, you know, and really adapt to Test cricket. You know, 5-day cricket out there was really hard, hot conditions, and you know, good players. So yeah, out of all the tours, India was probably the best for me.
Would you agree with the system of bringing players through that sort of preparation?
Yeah, I think so. You know, it's good. It's good to get away with an England team. You know, you're used to touring, you're used to fighting for your position to get into the Test side, and you know, it was good.
Now, playing in India is one thing against England's A team. Did you have any qualms about coming into a full Test side against what is still one of the strongest sides in the world?
Yeah, you know, I was a little bit nervous when I first went out there, you know, but I said to myself, I'm good enough to be here. I've been chosen. You know, I've done well this season with the ball. You know, I went out there and just tried to prove that, you know, I'm good enough to play Test level.
You looked to enjoy yourself with the bat as well. It wasn't just the ball.
Yeah, I decided, I'm going to guts it out. I'm going to show these people I can bat. I want to make runs at test level, and hopefully, I can push on from here and prove I can.
And then bowling bounces at Curtly Ambrose.
Well, I know that, Curtly's going to bowl something at me, same as Courtney and Ian Bishop too. So, you've got to give them back what they give you.
Raymond Illingworth doesn't say much, but I should think he is a very, very happy man in the light of all the publicity pre-match here. Here he is with David Gower.
Ray, a lot of controversy before the game started about the selection, sending the keeper home. It all seems to have worked out pretty well in the end.
Yeah, I think the boys have answered it for me. They've done the business out there. A lot of people are talking about you've got to make 500 bowl them out twice with 4 bowlers. What I said we've got to do, we've got to win hard-fought, tight test matches. We've done that in this one. It's been a great test match, and the boys have done absolutely everything. Wonderful.
I was talking to Mike Atherton earlier, and he agreed that Alex Stewart actually as a keeper is as good as you'll get.
I think that's right. I mean, that catch he took left-handed this morning was a super catch. I don't think anybody could have bettered that. And I think Alec quite likes doing the job really deep down.
I think he did it very well, actually. 1 or 2 players didn't have great games. Is that going to cause a problem for you?
Well, we've got to sit down and think about these things. We know that against the West Indians, we can't carry players who are not doing the business, but we want to be trying to be loyal to everybody. What you've got to work out is if people are not doing too well, is it better to give them a couple of games in county, get back into form again, and then give them a chance of coming back, or keep playing them, which is pretty high-pressure stuff, and will they come back to form in the tests? It's hard work, is that?
It is hard work. We saw 1 or 2 come back into form properly in this test match. Robin Smith played very well, didn't he?
Yeah, and he got 100 or so in the county game as well, which got him going as well. We know Robin's a good competitor, and he'll always fight very hard. I'm glad for him he's come back. What I said to him early on was, look, all the way through his career, I think people have said you've got to pat him on the back, say you're going to play 5 and 6 test matches, but he's done 50 now. We said, you've got to stand up to it, and Robin agrees with me, and you've seen what he's done today, so it may have done him some good that he's a harder character now.
And it wasn't all Dominic Cork, was it, either with the ball? Dominic got the wickets, bowled very well indeed, but it was a good team performance in the field, wasn't it?
Well, I think so, and everybody kept it tight. We bowled much better than Headingley. We didn't give them so many to score off. It's been a good wicket, I think, what everybody says. It's been a good test match. I mean, I would rather watch a match like that than the one where sides get 500-600. I've really enjoyed it, and everybody's bowled well, and just about everybody's got a few runs chipped in with a few.
So you're hopeful for a good outcome for the rest of the series?
Well, we didn't want to go 2 down here, that was for certain. It's set the series alight now, and I don't think I'll have any trouble selling tickets.
David Gower and Raymond Illingworth there, the England chairman of selectors, certainly was a very happy man. Now, with his ideas on the match and what might be happening in the future, here's Geoffrey Boycott.
Making 296 to win was always going to be a tough task for the West Indies. Once Lara got out early, well, it knocked the stuffing out of them. I thought young Campbell played the best innings he's ever played for West Indies. He was compact, he was sound and sensible, and I think that will do him a good stead for a long career as a West Indies opener. For England, it was Gough, Fraser and particularly Cork who put the West Indies batsmen under pressure. Bowling aggressively, Cork thoroughly deserved his wickets, and that will stand him in good stead for the next test match as well. The pitch, well, Andy Roberts will rule the day. He mentioned about this pitch being poor and underprepared. My advice is, next time as West Indies manager, it'd be better to wait till the end of the game before he makes any comments at all. And England, well, they will rightly be celebrating a magnificent victory tonight. And they will be thinking, test match next week, Edgbaston, roll on. Same team, same victory.
Thank you, Geoffrey. Geoffrey Boycott with his ideas on this match, and a very good match it was. Just one last word about the pitch, which came under some criticism in various quarters. I would always prefer to see a match like this one, where you had a capacity crowd on the first 4 days. They saw exciting cricket, brilliant stuff at times. As I mentioned earlier, lots of heroes, and 1,166 runs made in the match for the loss of 40 wickets. I prefer to see that rather than some side making 600 or 650 and the game finishing in a dull draw. So as far as I'm concerned, the groundsman here at Lord's gets plenty of accolades. Cricket coming up. This is what we have in the future for you. The third Cornhill Insurance Test match on Thursday, the 6th of July to Tuesday, the 11th, England against West Indies. The series is 1-1, live coverage on BBC TV all the way through. For the moment, from Lord's, after one of the best Test matches I've seen in years, it's goodbye.